right, guys. Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. Here with Champion Sports Talk with my man Joey Martin. How are you?
I'm good, brother. Good to be here. And, man, I always look forward to Thursday.
Yes, indeed. As always, we are driven by Sango GMC. My buddy Mark over there. You make the drive, he'll make the deal. That's what they say. I want to take a real quick, before we get started, I want to thank all of our awesome partners who make this possible. Gregg Vet, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Hicks Chiks, Trinity Medical, and all of our awesome partners that you see on your screen now, including Concordia Sentinel. Thank you to everybody who helps make it possible for us to do what we do. Man, Joey, we got a good show today. We've got Matthew Freeman from ACCS here today, and Coach Josh Lloyd from Cathedral
Yes,
today.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
Big game this weekend.
Yeah, a little bit of a big game. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Hey, it looks like it's going to be a great night for football as well.
Yeah. Before we get started, I'm going to let you kind of dive into the local stuff. But before we get started, I just wanted to say again, I know we said it last week, but I wanted to say again, we are thinking about our military guys over there. Like, we've got our group in Kuwait that listen to us, but we're thinking about those guys with everything, all this craziness going on in the world, thinking about all you guys and gals over there. Thank you for what you do, and we're very appreciative. And we're a lot of thoughts and prayers for you. Joey, you want to just kind of dive in?
Sure.
You want to dive in on the local? I'm sure.
Dustin, I keep waiting on him to belt out a tune with that microphone.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, we'll look back at last Friday. Natchez High had a happy homecoming, 36-0 bashing of South Jones. Fourth straight win for the Bulldogs, who lost their first four. Natchez High head coach Steve Davis had to go to the defensive side with his three quarterbacks out, but defense stepped up, and strong running game as well. Carl McDonald and Ja'Carry Douglas. Natchez now 4-4, 2-0 in region, plays host to region opponent Florence High School tomorrow night.
And that's 4 in a row, right?
Yeah, 4 in a row, and playing good ball, absolutely.
So you said three quarterbacks out?
They had all three quarterbacks out. Yeah, had to go to a linebacker to play quarterback.
Wow.
But Caden
sounds like the 49ers in the playoffs last year.
No kidding. Caden Walton will be back tomorrow night, so that's a good thing for the Bulldogs. Florence High is 5-3 and 2-0. And I was talking with Steve Davis this morning, and one thing he mentioned is, there's a difference in the way we play. It used to be we would have to make adjustments, but now other teams will have to make adjustments for us. So good luck. Big game for Natchez High, and, man, I hope the Bulldogs can keep it going.
Yeah, they've got a lot of excitement around. I'm over at the hospital, Miss Brenda, and several Natchez High people that I run across on a regular basis. They're all pretty excited. They've got their color. They got their Bulldog colors, and good to see them on a little win streak here.
Yeah, I think it's great when Natchez High does well. Just everybody seems a little more excited. I mean, you want your big school around here to do well and represent.
That's right. What else?
Rabel High outscored Vidalia 22-8 in the second half as Hornets defeated the Vikings 36-14 in Rabel. Loss dropped Vidalia to 3-4 overall and number 34 in Division III non-select. Viking quarterback Amari Lewis, who's having a great year, scored on a scramble for the Vidalia's first points. Vidalia has homecoming. They host General Trask tomorrow night. Big challenge right there. It's not your normal homecoming opponent.
Is Trask good?
They are good. They got a big old quarterback, big running back, and they're just going to try to pound it. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Block High fell to Delhi 48-24, and Block plays at Delhi Charter. So that's a big game.
Okay.
Also, Fairdy High, Oak Grove scored on its first three possessions. They're just a machine as they beat Fairdy 42-14. They're 5-2. Only losses coming to Sterlington and Watchtower Christian, but man, they're fun to watch. They're just so organized, and everybody's, just fundamentally sound. It's scene.
You had kind of prepared us for that when you told us how good they were, and to do that, to go into Fairday to that environment, which is an intimidating environment.
Absolutely.
To do that, I mean, it kind of shows how good they are.
Yeah. The loss was the first in district for Fairday, which fell to 4-3 overall. The first half had a lot of flags, 13 penalties, and it's just kind of the mindset of Ryan Gregory, the old Go coach. I said, I know there was he had an unsportsmanlike and a personal foul in one play. He said, those are foolish, but I don't mind a lot of flags if it's physical play. So.
Yeah, the flags for trying too hard are okay, but the flags for being a knucklehead, is not. Yeah.
They had a kicker, Thomas Clack, kicked it in the end zone 4 times on the kickoff. Booming it. I mean, one of the best high school kickers I've seen. But Faraday now has homecoming as they host Mangum, another big game tomorrow night.
Okay.
Mangum's starting to get healthy, and they're playing well. So this is going to be a tough. You don't get. And what's interesting is Mangum coach told me it's the first time I've ever been in a homecoming opponent. I'm like, oh well. I think he's got his own motivation there.
Yeah, exactly.
And Delta Charter scored 6 times with only 1 coming on offensive snap as they beat Cicely Island 56-0. Otis Bates returned 3 kicks for touchdowns, including a punt after a safety. Storm also scored 2 other touchdowns on the defensive side, Davis Cooper and Jay Ivey. So,
wow, that's got to be pretty uncommon there. 6 touchdowns and only 1 of them on an offensive snap.
Yeah, the only bad thing about that is it doesn't help your offensive stats. But Delta Charter,
I'm sure Coach Wheeler will take it.
Oh, absolutely. Delta Charter actually plays tonight. They host Delhi in a Thursday night game, so looking forward to seeing them play. And Delhi upset Delta Charter last year. Javari hurt his ankle in the 3rd quarter, so there'll be a little revenge motive there, but this is a big game for the Storm.
Okay.
ACCS totaled 411 offensive yards as they took care of St. Joe's of Greenville, 28-6. St. Joe's a good team, and AC improved to 6-3. Coleman Carter threw for 259 yards. Adrian Walker scored the first touchdown, and just a good, solid effort by the Rebels, especially the second half. Of course, ACS Cathedral, we'll be talking about that.
Oh, yeah, we're getting a lot of the AC Cathedral talk.
Yeah. Centerville hold off Cathedral 43-40 in a wild shootout. I kept checking that score, and I'm going, my goodness, it was like 28-27 at halftime. I'm like, what is going on? But anytime you can play Centerville like that at Centerville, that's quite a task. But Tristan Vondran had one of his better games, 4 TD passes, and Dylan Lee had some touchdown catches, and just like I say, they've got AC tomorrow, and we'll dive into that.
It seems like Tristan's got a pretty good little future ahead of him, right? Is he a sophomore? Is that right, Tristan?
It's Tristan.
Yeah.
Sophomore, yeah.
Seems like he's putting together a pretty decent little year right now and got a nice future ahead of him.
Yes, absolutely. Looking at our local guys, Lewis Matthews had 5 solo stops, 4 assists, and Gramblings lost to Alabama A&M. A guy I haven't mentioned, but certainly need to. Freddie Mango played at Delta Charter. He's at Southwest Oklahoma State University, and he had 2 solo stops, 10 assists, and the Bulldogs lost to Bison 20-13. He had an interception and 10 tackles last week against Arkansas Tech. So Kobe Dillon won 2 carries, 4 yards for Southern, and like we always say, hey, keep us in.
Yeah, if you know of anybody, a couple of guys that I wanted to mention, Jalen Moody over in Vidalia. He was one of my former students. Great young man. I think he's over at Hines now,
right.
But he really excels on the track.
Exactly.
And he won, I think, the 200-meter state last year, and they just gave him his. Well, I don't think he was able to be there yesterday, but they just got his plaque put in the trophy case over there.
He finished second in the 100.
Yeah, he's a great young man and a great athlete too.
Yes.
So I wanted to mention him, and then another guy that we haven't mentioned yet. He's not a player, but Michael Whitley.
Oh, absolutely.
Michael Whitley coaching. I forget the university.
Yeah.
He's been at a few different places now, and he's kind of working his way up the ranks.
He's going to keep moving up. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He played for Josh.
Did he play for Josh? Okay, yeah. I had him come speak to some students a while back, a couple of years back, and he did a really good job. Charismatic. All the kids really liked him. He had them all motivated, and I kind of follow him and seems like he's doing the same thing at
Yeah.
the university level. So
Yeah, his older brother Lewis played at Nicholls State basketball. So
okay,
athletes in that fan.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention Michael and look, like you said, if anybody that we're missing that's playing or coaching or anybody or anything like that at the next level, just let us know. We'll be happy to bring them up also. So what else we got on the
one
local
other
level?
thing? I want to congratulations to former Vidalia Lady Viking Chastity QB.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and former North Natchez Ram Thomas Matthews. They're both being inducted into the Colin Hall of Fame next Thursday. QB played for Lillian Johnson at Vidalia, while Matthews played for my longtime buddy Sam West at North Natchez. And I want to mention, I talked to Sam this week. He said he loves our show and loves tuning in. So
great.
Good to have you there, Sam. And,
I think that's 15 now. We're up to 15.
There you go.
That's right.
We'll take it. But that's all I got on the local scene.
No, yeah, we do want to say thank you to all the people out there, though. It's been a great response, and we're happy. We're proud to be able to do it. Yeah, I think that's a good coverage of the local scene, and I think we'll go ahead and just take our break. That way, we could give these guys more time. We'll give Josh and Matthew a nice little section of our show today. I think they want to hear them more than they want to hear us.
I know that.
What we'll do is we'll take a super quick break, recognize a couple of our partners, and we'll be right back with some AC and Cathedral talk. Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. I want to tell you about our awesome partners, J.E. Hicks Distributing Company, also known as Hicks Chiks. Hicks Chiks is a local, family-owned food distribution company that has been serving the Miss Lou since 1945. You already know they serve all of your favorite restaurants, but did you know they are also open to the public? Hicks has a variety of food products, including delicious heat and eat options like chicken and dumplings, white bean chicken chili, lasagna, and gumbo. They also carry a wide variety of seafood options like shrimp, crabs, tuna steaks, salmon, and catfish. And don't forget about their famous TNT burgers that are already pattied up for you and their amazing dessert options. So go see the awesome team at Hicks Chiks at 1380 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Natchez. Hicks Chiks, way more than just chicken.
Welcome to your new hospital, Trinity Medical. Located in Faraday, Trinity Medical is the only acute care facility in the Tri-Parish area. Here you will find an active pursuit of holistic health, a strong, honest group of clinicians, and a consciousness of others that transcends the 80,000 square feet committed to you and your loved ones. Trinity Medical. People you know, caring for people you love.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We're out at our awesome partners, Gregg Veterinary Clinic, and we are in the back in the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. I'm standing in the Magnolia Bell Suite, which is one of 5 elite boarding suites available to your 4-legged furry friends when you travel this summer. Each suite comes with a private bed, flat screen TV, 24/7 video monitoring, and a sliding door so your pet feels like they're home. They provide one-on-one walking and activities in a fenced-in private backyard. So call Gregg Vet Hospital today and request your pet suite at the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. They'll leave the light on for you. Call Gregg Veterinary Hospital today. All right, we are back with Champion Sports Talk. Now we got what the people want to hear. We got rid of me and Joey. We've got Matthew Freeman from ACCS and head coach Josh Lloyd from Cathedral here. Yeah, thank y'all for coming. I know y'all hate to get out of school and talk sports and stuff like that, but we really appreciate it. Yeah. So what is your head coach at Cathedral, and what is your title over at AC?
I'm the athletic director.
Athletic director? Okay.
Assistant football coach.
Assistant football coach. Okay, awesome. I guess what we'll do is I'll just let Joey kind of take the lead, and we'll dive in and just talk some ball. Y'all got a big game coming up this week.
Yeah.
Everybody's excited?
We are.
Yeah.
Should have a great crowd.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, I want to thank Matthew because David last minute had something come up, and Matthew graciously stepped in, and we appreciate you being here as well, both of y'all. First question I got, I was talking to David about this Monday, and we'll start with you, Matthew. You guys started with first game August 11th. Of course, you next week.
Next week, right.
And we were kind of talking about the number of injuries that everybody seems to have this year. Obviously, the ACL, the ankles, is something that's going to happen. But how much do y'all think the 100-degree days when you were starting, you couldn't push the kids like you wanted, has that kind of played a factor in some injuries?
I think this summer we weren't able to do as much as far as like in the weight room, really getting to get the kids physically prepared and everything early. I don't know if it had, a significant impact on the injuries or not. I can't speak on that, but I do know we weren't able to do quite as much this summer, pushing the kids a little bit, to their limits as much as we have in the past because of those hot weather days, and it definitely played a big impact.
I think, you gotta kind of play your way into shape nowadays. It's not one of those things where you can come in and you're in the best shape, that you want to be in when you start this season in August 11th, August 18th, unfortunately. So you kind of got to play your way into shape, and you're going to fight some of that stuff. We've been lucky enough. We're starting to have some ankles and stuff you have this time of year, late in the year, which everybody's got when you play now in games. But we've been pretty fortunate up to this point. Luckily, early season you got to fight cramps, and you fight guys dropping out with cramps, the biggest thing. And like I said, you kind of got to play your way through that kind of stuff, unfortunately, with the time frame and how they got to start.
Do you think they'll ever push it back? There's got to be some pressure.
I wish they would.
Yeah.
I wish they would. If it was up to the football coaches, I think it would be pretty unanimous, but I don't think it's going to come down to us. So how it falls on the calendar, unfortunately, and how they set up the calendar, wanting basketball to start at a certain time and trying to get the playoffs done in a certain time. And I think if you polled all the football coaches, it'd be pretty unanimous wanting to start pushing this thing back a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm a basketball coach, too, so I'm a little guilty on that.
So, I guess a question for both of y'all is, since we're about halfway through the season or further in, what do you guys seen from your team so far? And what do you hope to see from this point moving forward as we start coming down the home stretch?
Well, this is the home stretch. This is week 10 for us, and we got our work cut out for us. Obviously, we've got a great opponent this week. We're still trying to fight our way into the playoffs. We're the 13th team right now out of 12, so we got some work to do if we're gonna continue our season. But we've seen growth. We've seen some maturity on these guys. We've played a lot of sophomores early on, and they're not really sophomores anymore. They're starting to come onto their own a little bit more. We're a better football team than we were when we started, but fortunately it hadn't shaked out on the wins and loss column like we wanted to, and we just got to keep working. That's the only thing we can do at this point. Just keep pounding the rock and showing up. It's a process, and I believe we're doing it the right way, and we'll get there.
Yeah, well, Joey and I have talked about this on the show a couple of times. You guys have had a couple of heartbreakers. Same with you guys. You've had a couple of tough ones, but we can certainly see that things are moving in the right direction, and we think that you and your staff are doing a great job over there.
It's been a lot of hard work that these guys have bought into what we're trying to do, and like I said, we're seeing it. We're not seeing it in the win-loss column, but we're seeing it in other places, and it'll eventually get there.
Oh yeah, it'll work itself out. And same to you, Matthew. What have you seen so far this season? What do you hope to see as we close out the year?
Well, like you're saying, we're at the very end right here. We're on week 11. Us and Steve are a big opponent. We're both fighting for that, towards the end of the PowerPoint regimen, the way they do it. A couple of teams we've played this year have kind of hurt our PowerPoints, and they didn't help us as much as, we assume we did. We're going to end up, winning or losing at 7 or 8 wins, depending on, tomorrow, and finishing around 10 or 11, 12 in PowerPoints, depending on, so, we got our hands full Friday also with the Cathedral too. Both of us, I think, are better than down in the 11, 12, 13 range. I know we compete with the rest of the schools in 5A. So it should be very exciting Friday night.
So what do you guys think about the PowerPoints? Good and bad?
It's good and bad, for sure.
I think it's good and bad. I mean, you're relying a lot on your opponents and what they do too. That's the bad thing about PowerPoints. You don't have any control over how your opponents play and who they schedule and how it's going to shake out. And unfortunately, that's a big factor in the way it works. So there's some good to it. There's some bad to it, obviously.
I mean, obviously, in y'all's district, you're going to get PowerPoints. Teams in your district. Yeah. Somebody like Delta Charter,
right?
They only have really one solid team in their district, and that works against them.
Exactly.
They've lost one game. They're number 15.
Right.
So
there's some good and some bad.
Yeah.
It's a tough deal. I mean, Mississippi, the top 4 teams in the district make it. Our district is loaded.
Yeah.
And we've got more than 4 teams that deserve to go to the playoffs in our district. So I don't know if that would be a better way to do it either. So, like I said, there's positives and negatives for both.
One of those things you're glad you're not in charge of?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Joey and I have talked about AC. He had you can clear me up if I'm wrong on it, but Coach King, the last time he lost 2 in a row in a season, I think. What was that stat that you were saying? 2016 or something?
Yeah, 2016.
And I think went on to win state that year, I believe.
Well, without the forfeit.
Yeah. But on the field.
Yeah, but it's rare.
So what we were saying about AC is you guys had a couple of tough breaks here and there, but if teams go in looking at your record, you may sneak up on them and say, because I think, like you said, I think both schools are better than their record shows.
Right. Yeah. And when they won state, every playoff game was on the road. So. Yeah. Well, how'd you both get into coaching? We'll start with you, Matthew.
I graduated from Ole Miss, and I came back to Natchez and just was trying to find. I had a criminal justice degree, so I was looking for what type of alley I wanted to go. Whether it was, DEA, Secret Service, obviously was like the topic there. But I was meeting with Coach King, and I was just talking, and we were watching him in football practice. I always went back and watched his teams that he was coaching. He's like a father to me, so I was real close with him, and I was just joking with him, and I was like, "Hey, Coach, when you gonna hire me over here?" And he's like, "I'll hire you tomorrow." And I was like, "Okay." So the wheels started rolling there, and next thing you know, I'm on staff there, helping with the baseball team. I graduated Christmas, came home, and helped with the end of basketball and beginning of baseball there, and then the rest is history.
Awesome. So, how about you, Josh?
I knew right away that's what I wanted to do. The guys that have impacted my life were coaches. It was Roy Garcia, David King, Paul Hales, Terry Moffitt. Those guys really impacted me when I was growing up. I knew right away that's what I majored in going into school. I was going into coaching, and it was always in the plan for me to be around the game and be around the game of football and be around boys and hopefully impact guys like those guys have impacted me. So that was always my goal.
That's awesome.
I think that's what's unique about this matchup this week in particular is the personal relationships kind of. Yeah. It's. You guys know each other well, and you're good.
I coached Matthew's senior year.
What is your relationship?
I was on staff with David at Trinity his senior year, so I've coached Matthew. I played for David. I've coached with David, coached against David, so I've got a great relationship with David. He's been a mentor, one of my mentors through the years, and has helped me tremendously in this profession. So there's a lot of stories and things that are tied into this game as well.
Do you guys ever talk during the season? Or?
Oh, yeah. Coach King and I text quite frequently. Yeah.
Gotcha. I was talking with Darryl Day a couple of weeks ago. He's head coach at Nichols. He coached at LSU, Northwestern, and he actually retired and went to South Carolina. And somehow he ended up coaching Bluffton, South Carolina's high school team. And one thing he told me, he said, I think every college and NFL coach ought to coach high school.
Yeah.
He said it's been an eye-opener for him. What do y'all get from coaching high school?
Just the relationship of seeing the kids. Like, I coached 5th and 6th grade AYA all the way up to seniors. So, being able to see kids grow and develop from 5th grade all the way to senior year and not just being in a college program and inheriting a kid that's already been molded by a head coach that – you just kind of get him what he is, and you get him for 2 or 3 years. And I feel like in high school, you can develop a stronger relationship with those kids and really have an impact on their life and molding them. And, you know, like Coach King did for me, right? He's, like I said, a big role model for me, big father figure for me, and he's had a real impact on my life.
What about you, Joe?
I've got all daughters. So I've got all girls at the house. So this is
it's a getaway.
Well, it's not just a getaway, but I kind of, and I've always coached these guys, and I called the seniors in on Monday, and we had a little meeting before this week, and I just said, look, I've always coached my guys like I would want somebody to coach a son if I had one. You know, I'm going to be firm. We're going to have discipline. We're going to have structure. I'm going to love you. I'm going to take care of you, but I'm going to push you. I'm going to push you to do things that you're capable of doing. So that's how I've always kind of approached it. Like, if I had sons, this is the way I would want somebody to coach my son. So hopefully I've done that. Hopefully I've impacted some of these guys along the way. And
one of the most gratifying things is when a kid comes back to y'all and says, that was the best part.
That's the best. When you see guys come back and they're married and they've got kids now and they still want to come up and talk to you and tell you about their life and what's going on with them, that's absolute best. So.
What about because I know that some of the kids watch this and we all like to hear our name and to be recognized and stuff. So I just want to take a moment for each one of you guys to recognize some of your players, both on the field and off the field. You know, you got some guys who may not crush it on the field, but they're still leaders. So who are some of your guys that stand out to you? With however you want to start.
I'll go. Anytime you start name dropping people, you tend to leave off.
Yeah, and I hate to throw that at you.
Sorry for my players if I leave you off here. I love each and every one of y'all, but
yeah.
Obviously it starts with the quarterback position for me. I'm an offensive-minded guy, so the quarterback leader. Coleman Carter, Adrian Walker, one of our running backs, one of our top guys. Jordan Berry.
That's my buddy. I know Adrian.
You know Adrian?
I know Adrian from junior. Yeah,
great to be around.
That was family. Yeah.
Damian Johnson and Jordan Berry, both of them seniors for us, good skill players. Two big linemen we got are Caleb Bailey and Tate Walsworth. Both of them are.
I know Tate too. Yeah.
College football players.
Yeah.
We got a couple guys that, step up on off the field issues, off the field deals that are like our team chaplains. And we have certain kids that step up and pray for us every day at the end of practice and lead us in that aspect, Christianity part of our team. And everybody's got a role to play, and we just count on them all to do their role and stay to keep us all together.
Yeah, that's right. I like that you said that.
I think the four guys that I don't mention a lot, and they were voted on by our team. We've got a leadership council in each grade. We have a representative for the sophomore class, one for the junior. We got two senior representatives. They were voted on by the team, so their peers voted on it. These are the guys they look at as the leaders of their team. And our sophomore representative is Brock Burgess. He's our right tackle, plays some D tackle for us. Our junior representative is Fred Lane. Plays some running back, plays some linebacker, and some safety for us. Got a bright future. Our two senior representatives are Cade Jackson and Bennett Gilly, and those have kind of been our leaders all year. Those have been kind of my sounding board. They come in, they meet with me every week, and we kind of get a poll, where the team is, what we need to work on, anything they want to bring, any ideas they bring. So those four guys have done a great job with that. We've implemented that this year, and I don't think they get the recognition they deserve because they're not all, especially those linemen, they're not getting their name in the papers, touchdowns or anything, but they're integral parts of this team and they're our leadership. So.
Yeah, and Joey, I'll jump in real quick now. I'll pass it to you because you just said something I think was interesting. How much feedback do you take from the players? Do you take feedback, and how much? Where's the point where you're like, I got it, man, or do you listen a lot?
Well, I use them as a sounding board, but they definitely serve a role. We've had if we have any discipline issue that needs to be, I go to them and say, what's fair? What would be a fair deal? What we wear Friday nights, I take that to them. I let them decide that. I don't need to decide that. I get ideas for practice. How can we change it up? What can we do to kind of liven it up if we didn't have the best day? So they're a sounding board for us, and hopefully they feel like their opinion is valued, which it is. And it's been a good group for us. And I expect those two, the junior and senior, will probably be on there again next year because they've done a great job, and their peers obviously look at them as leaders. So,
yeah. What about you guys? Do you on the field feedback and stuff like that?
Yeah, every kid thinks they can call the next touchdown play. Coach King has a group text with all our kids on the football team, and he's always sending them motivationals, and they're always replying back with certain things. And I'm sure he takes some of that to heart, what they say, and then he uses some of it, and then he completely shuns some of it.
Which is probably the correct recipe.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they would all call their own number every play if they could. Right? Yeah,
that's a good thing to have though. Kids want the ball, so
yeah,
it's good to have kids that want the ball in their hands all the time, and got to have good team players also.
That's right. That's right.
So along those lines, when you're watching a college or pro game, are you looking for stuff that you might could use?
I mean, obviously always, but they just have so many more players at their practices that they can orchestrate and really rep all the small details with individual coaches and running back coaches, linebacker coaches, receiver coaches, quarterback coaches, that we don't really get that much time to spend individually because most of our kids play offense, defense, running back, receiver. They all play multiple positions, and it's just you got to watch a lot of film with them and let them break it down and really explain the little details of why they're doing what they're doing, and then Friday night gets here and you just hope they do what they're supposed to do.
How about you, Bill?
I think as a coach, you always see plays on a Saturday or Sunday like, man, that'd be great to run that. then you got to realize your limitations of what you can do and what you can't do, what your kids can do and what they can't do. And I think that plays a part in it. Obviously, you want to be creative and you want to bring some of that excitement to your players. Where you see this play Saturday, we're going to try to run that. But like I said, it kind of goes back to what can you do, what can you execute. If you can't do it, then there's no sense in putting it in. And so I think I've learned that through the years. It probably did a little bit more of that when I was younger, but getting to this point in year 20, you're like, man, if we can do it, we'll do it. If we can't, we certainly won't. So
every time you say year 20, I'm like, man, he's not old enough to be in year 20 yet. You still hanging in there, man. Still got the young looks. Keep it as long as you can.
I'm gonna try.
End up like me and Joey over here, man. That's not good for anybody. That's interesting though, because I think you're seeing more and more of this, and I may be wrong, but I feel like the old school football, maybe 10 to 20 years ago and beyond, I felt like coaches were more like, you're going to do it my way, and this is my system, and you're going to less miles. We're going to run the mile up the middle. And I feel like I'm seeing more coaches kind of adapt and evolve now, and it's more like, what can you do? How can I maximize you, and how can I maximize you? Do you feel like that's a thing, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've got to have a system. Everybody, if you don't have a system, you're scrambling. So you got to have something you believe in and something you want your kids to believe in. But on the second part of that, you've got to be able to do that as well. You got to figure out what they can do. Can they do what you want them to do? If not, then you've got to adapt. So I think it's kind of a revolving door when that goes. But it's one of those things where if you're just trying to beat your head on the wall doing one thing, they can't do it, you're not going to be very successful.
Yeah. Do you kind of feel like that too? Do you feel like it's evolved over the year?
Definitely evolved, but I feel like every coach that can adapt each year, like you've got a different team each year. So I mean, if you go in there and thinking we're running double wing with whatever we got, and that's all we're going to run, and I don't care what we got, we're running the double wing. And then you got a team with a lot of speed and small linemen that aren't really built for that. You got to be able to adapt and change based off of what your team is capable of doing. So
yeah.
And I was curious watching the Vidalia Faraday game. Vidalia started off the game. Amari handed it off to a back who threw it back to him, which went for about 30 yards. But I was curious, do you tell your kids if you're starting off with a trick place? Because you don't want them, hey, this is what we're doing. I mean, how do you deal with that?
Most of the time, if you are putting in a trick play, you tend to run it on first, second play, try to set it up or something like that. And it's not really a play you practice all year round every day, so you kind of want to do it fresh while you just told the kids what we're going to do, how you're going to be doing it, so you can have the best chance to execute it. But it's kind of the way I feel about trick plays and stuff.
Yeah, I think you kind of go in every week with maybe one or two wrinkles of something you want to go do, and then you rep it all week, and you try to get it in your script and see where it fits in the game and see if you can get it at the right time. I mean, obviously, there's certain situations, certain down distance, certain places on the field you want to run certain stuff maybe that week. So it kind of varies, I guess.
What about with the referees? Do you kind of go talk to the referees a little bit? I heard Sean.
Yeah, we talked to him.
I heard Sean. I heard Sean Payton say this about the onside kick in 2009.
Yeah.
He said before he went into halftime, he said, "I went over to the referee and I said, hey, we're going to come out and we're going to do this.
Right.
Don't
in
his own language. Don't mess it up in his own words." And he was like, that was my biggest fear, was that the referee was going to blow the whistle and ruin the whole thing.
Right.
Why don't they give the coaches the chance before every game to know to fill us in, like when they meet with them one-on-one, do you have any trick plays or anything we need to be aware of before the game starts? And
okay, so that kind of helps answer
give you
the
the
question.
opportunity to explain what you're going to be doing if you are.
Yeah. I always thought that was interesting when I heard him say that, because I was like, I wouldn't have been thinking about it, but it makes a lot of sense.
An inadvertent whistle could ruin a good trick play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And do you guys see who's calling the game? Because I know Delta Charter game earlier this year, Blake come up to me and went, "Oh no, not him."
Don't say any name.
Enough, first 3 plays there were flags. Do y'all
100%? Yeah.
You scout the refs also.
Yeah. I got the list for tomorrow night already. I mean, there was definitely one crew I didn't want to get. Luckily, that's not the one we got. So,
yeah. Tell us a little bit about, since the game is tomorrow night, tell us a little bit about the atmosphere around school right now, the atmosphere at practice, and then also the atmosphere that we can expect as fans.
I think it's going to be a huge crowd. The weather's going to be great. Balloon race weekend. I think there's going to be a lot of college kids coming in and back, and I think it's going to be a fun Friday night. We're looking forward. We're glad we're hosting. Looking forward to having everybody out. Hopefully we put on a great game for these guys, and everybody can have a great time.
How's the team this week?
It's been good. I mean, Matthew will tell you. I mean, you don't have to do a whole lot motivation-wise when you're playing a cross-town rival. I mean, everybody knows what's at stake and who you're playing, and you're playing your friends, and these are the guys you see out, and you're friends with on social media, and some of our guys date girls over there, and so this is one of those games where it should be fun for a lot of people.
Yeah, let the kids say they know what's up. Yeah. What about your guys? Are they?
I'll just say one of the biggest differences is from when I was in school, like when we'd be playing our friends over at AC or where we didn't play Cathedral back then, but when I was at Trinity, nowadays the social media aspect. So like the kids are, back then you just, hey, such and such said they were going to beat y'all. You had to go off hearsay. Well, now you got kids on Snapchat, Instagram, posting football pictures and beat AC, beat Cathedral. It's a lot more interaction with the kids across town with each other. Some good, some bad, but it's just part of it. And we hope everybody has a good experience with it, from the fans, from the coaches and the players and everybody. It should be a good atmosphere and it's a good time.
Yeah, that's one thing. When Vidalia beat South Natchez, Coach Fairclough told me, now our kids can go to the mall tomorrow.
Right.
But going further, what you're talking about, obviously you got to watch social media this week. You don't want any of your kids saying anything. How do you police that?
It's hard to police. Coach King harps on it every day. That's one of his main things, is you got to watch what you post out there, because it's going to follow you wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
It can ruin you in a heartbeat. You got to be smart on the social media.
The internet is forever.
Internet's forever.
Yeah. Is it just about education?
Yeah, I mean, we addressed it early in the week, and we've addressed it at every team meeting we've had since then. That watch what you say, watch what you post. These are things that doesn't go away. Be smart, let your play, do your talking. You don't need a whole lot of social media posts and some of that stuff. So that's how we've kind of approached it all week. And it's hard to monitor. I mean, I don't follow all these kids and do all the social media that they all do, so it's almost impossible to follow everything that they're on and do, unfortunately. So you just got to hope you've taught them well and they're smart enough, and they've heard you say it enough where it's ingrained in them a little bit. So
I think it's anytime you're dealing with young people, you can't make them do anything. Number one, I think it's just kind of about educating and saying, hey, this is why it's important for you.
Right.
It's not about me. I'm fine. This is about you and why it's important. So, Joey, what else you got?
Well, you've both been on a lot of bus rides. Any funny bus ride stories you can share with us?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I get on that bus, start to drive, put the AirPods in, and I don't want to hear nothing. I got some assistant coaches there with me also that kind of handle that part of the drive. obviously they're a little bit more excited on the way home from a win than they are a loss, so every bus trip's different.
Yeah, that's you.
My first year as head coach at Trinity, 2012, we had a bunch. We had a bunch win a big game on the road, and they sang the entire way home. It was songs I knew. It was songs I didn't know. It was rap songs. They had a great time, and we I'll remember that for as long as I live, probably as long as I coach. That was a fun bus ride home for sure.
That's funny. I'm sure it was all in key, right?
Oh yeah. And they knew every word to every rap song they were singing and every other song they were singing. So
yeah.
I was talking to David Monday. I kind of said something to you. And is there any motivational movie that's your favorite? I know David told me Godfather 2. I don't know if he was serious or not. Do y'all have a favorite?
It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
There, though.
That is Coach Gregg. Okay.
I would say every football year, I watch the movie Friday Night Lights at the beginning of the year, and it just kind of sets my tone for, it's one of my favorite football movies. It's a real good storyline. A lot of our kids on our team, I asked if y'all seen that. They haven't. So it's something we're going to plan on watching right here hopefully before the playoffs begin.
I'm going to share my age a little bit. My favorite one is Rocky 1, the original Rocky. I remember watching that as a kid and going and running around the block, drinking raw eggs. When I was probably 10 or 11, I'd drink some raw eggs. So that one is probably my all-time favorite.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
you can't go wrong with Rocky.
yeah.
It's like the cookies. You can't watch just one.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
You got to go with Rocky 4.
Rocky 4, is that the Russian?
Russian.
Oh yeah. That's pretty good. I challenge Fairley and Vidalia to do this, and you guys are friends and stuff, but I think it's interesting. What do you see? Reverse scout, without giving anything away, what would you say about the program right now, and vice versa?
They're at a level we're striving to get to. I mean, they've been for 12. I think it's Coach King's 12th year. I mean, consistently year in, year out, 10, 11, 12 wins, deep playoff runs, state championship appearances, district titles. Their program is where we obviously are striving to get to. Got a lot of respect for Coach King. I said that earlier. I played for him, coached with him, coached against him. So, and he's been a mentor of mine. So he's done it and been successful everywhere he's been. He's got almost 250 wins. He's won a lot of ball games.
Yes.
So they do things over there, and they're doing it well. And like I said, we're striving to get to that level. They've done it consistently for 12 years, and it's definitely recommendable. And hopefully we can get there.
Do you think that you've taken some of the things that you've learned from him and applied it?
Yeah.
To your career?
The year I coached with him, the way he interacts with players, and he did it when I played. That's always stuck with me. He was always such a great motivator, but he was always great with his players. He always had a great bond, and I always saw that when I played for him and when I coached with him that year, and that's always stuck out to me. And hopefully I've taken that part and doing things similar to it.
Cool, man. That's I know he's made a big impact. I can tell by the way that you talk about it. What about you as far as what are you seeing Coach Lloyd's first year here at Cathedral?
The biggest thing I see really is he's got the kids excited to be out there. He's got them believing they can win every time they take the field. So, I mean, that's two main things you really got to have from the kids. You got to want them to be excited to play the game of football, and you got to have them where they believe that they're going to win every game. So, if your players believe in the coaches, and, that's half the battle of taking the field and winning a football game, in my opinion. You got to believe that you can do it and have faith in the coaches.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go back to naming names again, but is there one player on your team that has surprised you this year?
One that surprised me, I would have to go with Damian Johnson. He's coming back off the ACL surgery last year. Didn't get to play at all, and he's having a really good year for us this year on offense and defense. And you're always glad to see your seniors be able to go out, positive.
That's awesome.
I've got two. I can't name one. I've got two. I got two guys, Matt Kaiser and Gabe Orr, didn't even play football last year. They were sitting in the stands, and they came out their senior year. They've been defensive starters for us. They've been team leaders for us. Both of those guys, we wouldn't be where we are right now if those guys wouldn't have played football. So I'm thankful they did. I love how they brought energy and excitement to our practices every day. They're two of our energy guys, and that would be the two definitely stand out the most.
What advice would you give a young lady or young man wanting to get into coaching?
Well, I mean, it's a servant job. I mean, you're serving kids. If that's what if you're put on this planet to do, which I feel like that's what I'm doing, you're serving others. You're putting yourself second, and you're putting these kids and ahead of everything. So it's very rewarding. It's very challenging, especially nowadays with the way these kids are and all the things they can get into. And but it's one of the most rewarding professions I believe there is.
How about you, Matthew?
We take a little different approach to that question. The main thing, if you're wanting to get into coaching, is make sure you got a strong lady or man by your side. Because, I know my wife waits on me 7, 8 o'clock at night some nights, and she doesn't like a chance. She knows what to expect, and you got to make sure you got a strong man or woman beside you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The whole team's y'all's family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She knows that we have. I coach football, basketball, and baseball, so I have 75 kids every year. They come over. They're always in the pool, wanting to be in our house, and I know it's frustrating her at times, but she does a good job of handling the way I coach and the way I interact with my players.
And that's not even mentioning the huge salaries in high school football. I mean, that's
we don't do this.
Yeah.
For money.
This is not for the money for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing about high school, man. I think both of y'all hit it on the head. You got to do it because you love it.
Yeah.
And y'all both have great support system. That certainly
absolutely
makes a big
I couldn't
difference.
do it without my wife for sure. She holds it down. This is year 20 for me, but this year football season, year 20 for her too. We've been together the whole time, and so she knows what to expect, and I'm sure she's ready for it to be over with eventually. I know it's a relief getting me back a little bit more at the house than she's used to. So, but Matthew hit the nail on the head. I mean, without a supportive spouse, this is a tough business.
Well, they both got some good brownie points in, so that's a good thing. Joey, do you have anything else? I know you guys are busy.
And both of your schools are just so supportive of y'all, and they certainly help make a job a little easier anyway. And I know y'all appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And we appreciate you guys coming out. Joey and I started this show, I guess, a couple of months ago, 2 or 3 months now, and the feedback from people that watching it, they really enjoy listening to our guests. I don't know if they like us or not, but they really enjoy listening to the guests. And that's why we do it, because we want to shine a spotlight on the positives and try to take things from a different angle sometimes. And hopefully you guys will continue to come back and keep us up to date. And your other sports, we have an open door for you here. And anything that we can ever do for you or for your school in general, just let us know, and we're happy to do it.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate your platform and y'all getting this out.
Yeah. All right. Well, Joey.
Good luck to both of them.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck this weekend. All right. Well, we'll get out of here and let these guys get back to work, and we'll take a super quick break, and we'll be right back with we got Craig coming on. Craig Jackson coming on.
Nobody else.
I think, are we out?
We're at the bottom of the ladder there. I think we're stuck
with Craig now. So, yeah, we'll be right back with Craig after this quick break.
I'm Mackenzie Shirley. I'm one of the speech therapists here at Trinity Medical. I work in both the inpatient and outpatient settings here with the pediatric up into the geriatric population. Here at Trinity, all disciplines collaborate together to provide the best of care to our patients. A speech therapist assesses and treats various disorders such as speech sound, language, fluency, swallowing, social communication, and cognitive communication deficits. We utilize many different materials to create patient-specific tasks to address their goals in our therapy sessions. We would love to help you with any therapy need.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. I want to tell you about our awesome partners, J.E. Hicks Distributing Company, also known as Hicks Chiks. Hicks Chiks is a local, family-owned food distribution company that has been serving the Miss Lou since 1945. You already know they serve all of your favorite restaurants, but did you know they are also open to the public? Hicks has a variety of food products, including delicious heat and eat options like chicken and dumplings, white bean chicken chili, lasagna, and gumbo. They also carry a wide variety of seafood options like shrimp, crabs, tuna steaks, salmon, and catfish. And don't forget about their famous TNT burgers that are already pattied up for you and their amazing dessert options. So go see the awesome team at Hicks Chiks at 1380 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Natchez. Hicks Chiks, way more than just chicken. Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We want to tell you about our awesome partner, Dr. Gregg and Gregg Veterinary Hospital. Gregg Veterinary Hospital has been providing comprehensive, reliable, cutting-edge veterinary services to pets in the Miss Lou since 2002. They welcome pets of all shapes and sizes who are in need of emergency treatment or who require routine medical, surgical, and dental care. Dr. Gregg and his team offer a long list of services, including in-house laboratory diagnostics, digital x-ray, soft tissue, orthopedic surgery, dental care, extractions, laser surgery, laser therapy, preventative health, and wellness plans. And if you need grooming and boarding services, they do that too. So call Gregg Veterinary Hospital today. All right, guys, we are back. Really enjoyed that segment with the guys, and now we have our buddy Craig Jackson, the sportsbook director here. Craig, we took us a minute to get back to you because Craig was in hair and makeup for a minute.
Exactly.
Getting this going.
That's a separate room. There's a hair and makeup room and just a makeup room. But these guys, they just go to the makeup room. You did go in there? I did. It was nice.
Yeah, we don't have to spend a lot of time in the hair room, so we beat you out.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. So before we get started, each week I've been finding these crazy stats, and I think that you'll find these interesting, being in the your role here at the casino, sportsbook director. And anytime I get a chance to pick on Texas A&M, I always take advantage.
I'm on your side with that. My least favorite coach in college football is Jimbo Fisher.
And then he went and hired Petrino.
Yeah,
as if he was like, "Hey, if you don't like me enough,"
it's like hold my beer moment.
If you don't dislike me enough,
I don't think he can do anything else to make us any more mad if you're an A&M fan. And he did the hold my beer moment and went and got Petrino.
Exactly. Yeah. So here's what I found was Texas A&M hasn't won a top 25 road game since 2014.
Wow. Strong.
A decade now. 13 in a row. The last time they won a road game was against Auburn Tigers, who were ranked number 3. They won 48-38, but that was back in 2014.
That's Johnny Manziel years, probably.
13 in a row here that they've lost on the road. Some closer than others, but some of them weren't particularly. There's a LSU 50-7 in there, Alabama 52-24. Some were not that close, and then Jimbo, our guy Jimbo, is 0-8 against top 25 teams on the road.
Well, going into this year, he was, I believe, sub 500 in SEC games.
Wow.
He was right on the 500 level, which isn't bad when you're making $75 million.
Yeah.
To just hit
exactly.
500.
And then the other thing that I found is their last 24 second half drives, 1 touchdown. I'm looking at interception, punt, missed field goal, but 1 touchdown.
You know what that
says? A lot
says?
Of bad.
What does that say? That says that Petrino doesn't really make adjustments at halftime where the other defensive coaches are.
Yeah, I agree with that. And But those are stats. Each week I like to find a couple stats that kind of jump out to me.
That 50-7, that was
Joe Burrow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They had that circle. They had that game circle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I've got them circled this year after what they did to my Tigers last year. So Craig, we we're doing our picks every week, and you're setting the lines here for us, and
it's been very impressive watching you guys pick. No, it really has. You've been pretty steady, and Joey finally, once he learned how to make correct picks, he kind of got on the program.
We called him goose egg for a little while.
I think he was just toying with us, like laying low, call us off, like sandbag, like I do in my
he was definitely.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
our current standings right now, we'll put it on the screen in a minute whenever Tim comes on. But I started out overall 6-1. Now I'm 7-6 overall, which
It's been tough.
I'm not good at math, but that means I haven't been doing very good. Tim is at 7-6. Now Tim cheated last week and sent Brian in from corporate to make his picks for him, and Brian went 2-0. So, but we'll give them to him as of now. But if he takes the lead, we might go back and like one of those. You got to take his Heisman away a few years later or something.
And what's Joey now overall?
Joey's 7-5-1.
So you're in the lead.
We gave him a tie. He had a push, and so he's a half game ahead of us.
Exactly.
Now, Tim said that if it's a push, that it counts as a loss.
No.
And I said, if we all three have to vote, then me and Tim will definitely vote for her.
Hey, Joey, get that vote, get me in. We can make it a push as well.
Oh, man. So we're glad to have you in. And why don't you just tell us a little bit about what you do here? And
I run the sports book, and I'm also over poker operations, but the sports book is what I enjoy doing. I actually do the line setting here based off of the natural line that comes out of Vegas. I trained at the Mirage in Vegas with the top traders. That's what we're called, because we change lines and pricing based on the money coming in. A lot of people think it's all about across the country, the amount of money that comes in. Vegas, it's more about who's making the larger bets. They have pros, and they know who the pros are. They have a very sophisticated system there.
Yeah.
And so when you see a big line change, it's not because, everybody must be betting on LSU. It's because the right or wrong person or group of people hit several casinos and they're networked in, and then they move the lines dramatically. And that happened this morning with Florida State, actually. Florida State and Duke has now gone to 14.5, which I think is, I like Duke, but that tells me that somebody in the know probably thinks that Duke's quarterback is not playing. Don't know if that's right or not, but that's usually kind of how that works. I'm
not going to give away anything, but that doesn't bode well for my college block of the week.
Did you like Florida State?
I just keep it at that.
I like Duke.
I think Duke's
well, that's actually better for Duke. I'm talking about now Duke's getting 14.5 points. Not here. Here I've got I moved to 14.
Okay.
But that just happened. That's a big line with a significant number.
Okay. It was 13.5.
Right.
Is what
I moved it to 14
you moved it
here.
to 14. Okay.
But nationally it's gone to 14.5.
Okay.
Which is big because
so it's different than I got on my sheet here.
Right.
At 14
it
now.
just happened.
I'm looking at 14.
So
13.5. Okay.
That's a significant game. A significant number. 7s, 10s, 14s, 21s. Those kind of numbers. And in the pros, it's more 3, 7, and 10.
Well, obviously, football's king here. What percentage of the betting does football take up for you?
Believe it or not, pro basketball is massive here, too.
Really?
We have, percent-wise, better pro basketball action, percent-wise, of our total handle than even like the Beau Rivage and the LaBerge in Baton Rouge, Beau Rivage on the coast, Philadelphia, because I talked to those guys that run those books. So football is still probably 60% of our action, maybe 65%.
Yeah.
We do have a big pro basketball.
Yeah, you would think it would be higher. Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Football, crazy part of the world.
I'm very surprised that our pro basketball betting is so strong. It really is.
So describe your Saturdays this week.
Oh, they're excellent. I get up early, I come here, and it's just it's on. We've got 50-something games usually to be played, and we're watching all the numbers and the lines. And it may not make that much of a difference, but you get involved the numbers inside the numbers yourself, and pushing the line up a point or half a point or a point and a half may or may not make any difference at all, but you have to have the mindset that it will, and a lot of times it does.
It's amazing how often it does.
I remember the biggest move we had was an Alabama versus Mississippi State. That was in 2019, I believe, and I just knew Alabama was going to kill them, and the national line was 21, and everybody was betting Alabama, and I had it 22.5, and Alabama actually ended up only winning by 22, which was, one of those times where you move it up a little bit and it centers right in there. But it was a ton of action on Alabama. That's when Alabama was the king before Georgia kind of unseated them. So you never know what's going to happen. So you just go all in and act like it's what you're supposed to be doing, which is what you do.
It amazes me, though, how often they get it right.
It's scary.
I mean, within a point or a half a point, and it's.
I'll tell you an interesting stat. You like your stats, but so I watch trends, and the early line comes out nationally on college football on Mondays, and I would say 80% of those games totals, 80% probably, at least 70, move down a minimum of 2 points by Tuesday evening.
Wow.
They for whatever reason, every week they've been coming out high. So like if the total's 58.5 on Monday, it's nothing unusual for Tuesday morning for that 58.5 to be 54, 55. And it's rarely do I find one that opened at 55 and now it's at 58. It's just really been a weird trend.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But with the new clock rules, I think have a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
So they're setting the lines kind of based on the old clock rules, and the bettors are betting based on the old clock rules. They see. I mean, there's a game right now. Look at Iowa with the 31 points total. The over under on Iowa. Yeah. Usually, when you see a game like that, you're like, they have to go over. That's the game that's going to go under.
That's the game that's going to be 31 points this year.
Yeah, that's the game that's going to be 14 to 10 or 17 to 10. Because it looks too obvious. I mean, there's no one even close to 31-point total. And
so are the books winning big numbers on those lines this year because people, the average person still thinking the old clock rules possibly?
Well, just like y'all are a perfect example. You're 7-6, Tim's 7-6, Joey's 6-5-1. They have so much action across the board that all they want is the juice, the 10% that you're basically charging for a bet. You bet $1.10 to win $1.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
what's the most common bet? 3-team, 14 parlay? Or?
Yeah. Besides the straight bets, 14 parlays, and then you have the ones that go up to the 18 parlays because they're wanting to make a big lick.
Yeah.
But man, they're so hard to hit. If you don't think they're hard to hit, it's like trying to hit the lottery sometimes.
Yeah. I had one earlier this year, an 8-team, and I was 7-0. Notre Dame, Ohio State. I was like, Notre Dame's got it. I took Notre Dame straight up.
That would have been
Ohio
nice.
State drives all the way down, and I'm watching it. And it's 3 seconds, and I'm like, I already know. If I could bet $1 million on Ohio State right now, I would, because I already know how this is going to play off. And that killed me. And I was like, oh, man.
And that should
I think that's the closest I've ever come on an 8-team.
And 8-team's like 160 to 1.
Yeah.
So if you bet $10, you win 160. Bet 20, you'd have won 320 plus your 20 back. So that's long odds.
Yeah.
But they get hit a lot, more often than you would think. But percent-wise, it's very low.
Yeah.
Very low.
Well, tell us a little bit about, I know you're busy and we don't want to keep you. I think Tim's over there. We had to kick him off the set. We were like, we got to get Craig in first.
Tim's still trying to figure out who he's going to bet. I could tip my hand, but this is recorded, and he might be able to go back and watch it. Else I would tell you who he told me he was thinking about picking, and y'all could pick first, blow his mind by picking his team. That'd be a good little trick, except he's my boss. So
that's right.
I think I'm going to save that trick for when it's just another worker, maybe.
I don't want to get the head guy mad at me.
That would be good though.
Yeah,
I'd get him good. I do want to know. So
go ahead.
Did y'all pick who y'all think is going to win the AC Cathedral game? Oh no, we don't do that.
I'm out on that one.
Tie.
Tie. That's good. I personally think AC's the favorite. I watch AC online a lot whenever I'm working, or if I'm at another game. I have they've got the AC Live app, and they're just big and they're athletic, and they've got some good defensive backs.
Yeah.
But to Josh's credit, and I've seen him, he coached at Delta Charter for a little while when we weren't even K through 12, and he has a very sophisticated pass offense, and it might not always look that pretty, but it's pretty good. I mean, he runs a lot of slip routes, and I'm probably saying that wrong, but he does a lot of things that when we played bigger teams when he was here, surprisingly might keep us in the game, or it's not unusual
even playing
to hit a big lick.
Yeah.
Right. And as Tristan grows, his quarterback, I think by the time he's a senior, he'll be lighting up the scoreboards because Josh knows offense. He really does. Yep. And then AC, of course, they have a great staff from head to toe. I mean, you got Stanley on the defense, you got David on the offense, and it's pretty lethal combination. But I just think AC's just got too much firepower right now. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I think most people would agree with that. Just on paper,
you never know.
Cathedral's kind of building, and they're very young.
That's right. And Josh has still got implementing.
Yeah, exactly. Continuity from the coaching staff has been there a little bit longer with David being there. I think they said it's 12th year or something. So, I think it would be fair to say AC's got a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, they
coming
should be
into
the favorite. And if you look at like games that they played and teams, but looking at this sheet, that'll show the like teams and victories over like teams. They're blown out of the water this year in the NFL and college. 1 week beating one team doesn't mean anything the next week.
Yeah.
It's been hard to figure out.
Now, Coach King will probably call us as soon as he sees this and say, "What are y'all doing? Why
Look, and I have friends on both sides.
Yeah.
It should be a good game. And Joey's like, "Oh my God." Yeah. All right, erase all this part of the segment.
Exactly.
But, hey, I'm just a fan.
It gives the people a chance to see both teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't get to do that often.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'll be a fun atmosphere.
It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good event.
They've only played, I think, 6 times.
It hadn't been a lot.
Cathedral won the first 2, and AC won the last 4.
Right. I remember when Cathedral won the first couple. That was when David first got to AC, and AC was way down. And as David does, he built them up, and now I think Cathedral went down some, and now I think Josh will build Cathedral back up.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be it's going to be good for the two teams.
I'd like to see them playing even when they're not the same district.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid next year they're with redistricting, they may not be in the same districts, but hopefully they'll keep the tradition going.
Yeah, hopefully so. It's a lot of fun just to that crosstown rivalry is always a lot of fun.
The gates are going to be good. So
anyway,
I want to touch on that.
No, I'm glad you did.
Local high school. I know y'all have already talked about it, but man, it just doesn't get any better than that.
I'm that's right. Excited about your school, Delta Charter, playing Fairly in Vidalia next year.
I'm a little nervous about it on one hand, but on the other hand, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
We're just limited. It hurts me, and the public really don't understand. But I see kids on teams all over the area who have tried for years to get into Delta Charter, but because of the restrictions that we're under right now, we miss out on a lot of kids, male and female, who want to come to our school, and it puts us at a huge disadvantage right now.
And that was had nothing to do with Miss Lou Champion Sports. That's all.
And that had nothing to do with Joey, nothing to do with Ronnie. Everything's good. But Blake's done a great job with the team this year, and the boys bought in, and they got a tough game tonight.
The number of assistants y'all lost.
Yeah, I mean we're Joey's helping. No, Joey's not. But we're hanging in there. We've had one loss. We've got a tough game tonight. And if we win tonight, we play for the district championship the following.
First ever.
Well, the following week. It would be the first ever. But we have a good little team.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Lots of tough kids on that
tonight's going to pose a challenge with Delhi for sure because
they upset last year.
Right, and they only lost to Delhi Charter by 8 points this year, a week or so ago, or 2 weeks ago. So they're a good football team.
Yeah, is that a home game tonight? Or
it's a home game.
Okay.
And I got to mention, kudos Delta Charter Sicily Island last week. No incidents. Kids were helping each other up.
Hey, good.
We were very happy about that. We talked about that as a school, about the reputation and everything. So we were very conscientious from a standpoint of the coaching staff on down, which is what you do when you're teaching young men, just like these two coaches were saying. You're trying to teach young men how to be young men in adverse conditions. And kudos to Sicily Island kids, too, for not having anything to really play for, win-loss-wise, but for holding it together and not going down that same road that they may have gone down with Vidalia. So we're very, very happy.
Yeah, I'm glad we brought that up because I mentioned it last week, and I said I would really like to see that get cleaned up. And I don't like last week. I said I don't know whose fault it is. I'd just like to see it get cleaned up.
That's right, and it's a little bit of everybody's fault sometimes. I mean, you always have an instigator, but then do you retaliate?
Yeah,
or do you turn the other cheek? And it's very hard to turn the other cheek, especially when you're 16, 17, 18 years old.
How many times it's when retaliate?
Right.
It's hard now, man.
I didn't want to get the Miss Lou crowd going, what a hypocrite. Gregg is not good at non-retaliation.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that I'm very proud of it. The boys did better than I could do, probably. No, they did a good job, though. Both teams, though. It was easy because neither team was out of line last week. They just played good, solid, hard football.
Good.
Well, along those lines, you got Franklin Parish and Carroll Saturday. Hopefully,
it'll
be a lot calmer than it was last year.
Exactly, and I wouldn't want to go to that game, but it could turn out to be okay, and hopefully it will.
I think it will.
Yeah. Well, before we get you out of here, I always give the casino employees a chance to just say whatever you want to say about your department and why people should come out and enjoy.
All righty. Once again, we have the absolute best viewing area and viewing TVs. And, I mean, no one else is even – it's not even a conversation of who else to compare us to. I can't even throw a name out there because there's nothing like this venue.
Yeah, it's a very unique spot.
Fantastic venue. Our food is fantastic. It gets out fast. And we do have the classic tailgate foods, you know, with the wings and the burgers and things like that. And they are really good burgers, really good wings. Everything's coming, like I said, all the way to fillets and ribeyes, but just talking tailgate, football watching type of foods. But we usually pick the local favorite games, you know, and that's who we have the loud volume on. We usually have our big TV on 4 of the main games. We split it up. Like tonight for the Saints, we're going to have the Saints on one big, huge picture.
At least for the first half.
For the first half. The Saints are 1-point favorites, so I'm sure that they're probably going to disappoint a lot of people. But that alone, I mean, just this viewing area, and then just for fun, you can make a $2 bet if you want to. You don't even have to make a bet. But it's always fun to have $2. Like I said, you do it a little 8-team parlay. Yeah. It's just fun. All of a sudden, you may not know pick a team that you don't know.
Yeah.
Who their mascot even is, but now you're sweating them because I don't know how Western Kentucky, you know, the Hilltoppers, but
it definitely makes it interesting.
And I mentioned Western Kentucky because they cost me a 3-game parlay Tuesday night because they lost. They weren't supposed to. So but you know, it's just a great venue and it's safe here. I've been here for a long time, and we don't have fights like in bars break out, things like it. You know, I mean, it's where people can come, and it's still a very safe place for people to come, enjoy the atmosphere. Yeah, I mean, it's a upscale business as opposed to a bar. Although watching football games in bars can be very fun as well. Yeah, I'm just saying that this is a very clean and nice environment, as y'all well know.
Yeah, and I think that what you were touching on earlier is there. A lot of people have TVs, and they're fun places to watch, but this is kind of what you guys do. I mean, you've got
right.
I mean, you specialize in this
exactly.
So
the 11 o'clock games. When you look down the list, when you look in in the paper, like, oh man, there's 11 o'clock games or 12, 11 o'clock games. We have every one of them that's offered by any TV. Yeah. We'll have it on.
Yeah.
Same for the
I'll see you this Saturday.
I'll be here.
Yeah, I'll be down watching some games this Saturday.
I'll be here to open, and then I'm going to go to the Balloons. We have a tent set up at the Balloon Festival, by the way. Tim may mention that.
Might be going with you to that.
We've got a wheel. You can spin the wheel and win some things.
Yeah, okay.
We have Joey Martin T-shirts. We don't have. But, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a booth for the Balloon.
You didn't do it?
We did. We're going to keep it a surprise.
They pinned the tail. Never mind.
We got Joey's face on this T-shirt because we just feel like everybody would want that,
Oh goodness. Well, let's wrap it up, man. I see Tim. I see Tim.
It's going south fast.
Yeah, Tim's over here. He's ready to get in, and I know he's got somewhere to be. I think I heard him say he's got to leave at noon. So we'll get him in and we'll get him out and get some good food. Our favorite part of the day. Craig,
thank you, guys.
We appreciate it. As
I
always,
enjoy listening to y'all. I listen in my office to them, and today I had to creep out around the corner and listen. Good stuff.
Yeah, we appreciate everything you do.
Thank y'all.
So we'll be right back with a quick break after a quick break with Tim with our locks of the week.
Play to win our Pumpkin Patch Progressive and Black Friday weekend drawings. It's time to gobble up over $50,000 in winnings at Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel. It's always a good time.
Visit MagnoliaBluffsCasino.com.
All right, guys, we are back with our Take It to the Bank Locks of the Week segment. Tim is back with us this week. Tim, do you call that cheating? I don't know exactly what you call it. It's a new move that
he would have picked those.
Those were my picks. I called those in.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, Brian was just the mouthpiece.
Oh goodness, I don't know about that. Let's see. But he's out gallivanting around the country, calling it business, hanging out wherever this place, that place, hanging out with all the high rollers, and you send Brian in from New York. He did called in the bullpen, and. He came in with a runner on third and only one out, but he got you out of the inning. So he went 2-0 last week.
That's right.
So we called Joey Goose Egg for a while, and now me and you are both setting overall at 7-6, and Joey's at 7-5-1. So I guess you want to crow a little bit. I mean, you want to.
No.
I'm giving you up to
I know how quick it can change.
Talk a little smack if you want. I'll give you the mic.
That's right.
Well, let's kind of dive in, man. Brian, we enjoyed meeting Brian last week. He was a good guy.
Great guy.
He wore his Giants jersey, and we said we found one Giants fan that's not ashamed to wear the jersey in public.
That's right.
And it had our boy LSU Beckham, so he did good with that. And he went 2-0 and
did well. We went to the LSU game.
Yeah.
As a group.
I was wondering if that was him on the field running.
It was not. It was not. But we had a great time.
Yeah.
All of our first SEC game, and
okay.
I mean, what an experience.
Yeah.
Start at the biggest and the best.
That's right.
That's right. Joey, since you're on fire here, why don't we start with college and you give us your Take It to the Bank lock of the week.
Even despite Craig changing the line at the last minute, I'm going to go with Ohio State -4.5. Penn State just seems to lay an egg at the worst times, and that's my pick.
Ohio State, okay. So you got let me write it down. We always have to stop and write it down because it's pretty serious tracking here.
Keep them honest.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm hanging out with these two, I got to keep. Yeah. Tim, what you got on your? And I saw you talking to Craig a while ago too. Me and Joey was keeping an eye on you. We don't know if you were getting insider information or what's going on here, but
I was looking over, just making sure that he didn't have any last minute advice or line changes. I tried to get him to peek over you guys' shoulders and bump your lines up a little bit. He's a fair guy like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games this week. I had a hard time. I was going through.
I agree.
Took a while. As we get deeper into the season, as anybody who's bet sports for a long time knows, as you get deeper in the season, we've got more statistical points to draw from, and Craig's lines get tougher and tougher each week. So I'm all the way down at the 6 p.m. game Ole Miss versus Auburn. Ole Miss is going to Auburn and laying 6.5 points. I'm going to take Ole Miss minus the 6.5.
Yeah, that was actually one that I was looking at myself. After watching how bad, that may be why that would influence it. You sat in the stadium and watched how bad Auburn looked at.
So I'm actually a little worried about that because, generally speaking, when you're talking about these SEC teams, after they get whipped a little bit like they did last week, they're eager to come back and have something to prove. So I'm a little worried, but I think Ole Miss gets it done.
And it's the
Hugh Freeze Bowl.
The Hugh Freeze Bowl.
That's right.
Kiffin and Freeze, couple of what's the nice way to say it? A couple of different kind of guys.
Different. That's a good.
A couple of different kind of guys.
Good adjective.
So I guess anything could happen, but I'm expecting Ole Miss to I don't know. I expect them to handle them pretty easily. Auburn's not quite there yet. I have one that the line moved also. I'm on my paper here. It's 13.5. I think Craig said it moved to 14. But I like Duke, man. I don't know if I like them to win, but I like them to keep it close. So it's we're up here somewhere.
All right.
It's a Duke Florida State game. Duke's got they've got a defensive coach, Elko, and I think they're going to keep it. I think they're going to keep it a pretty close game, and wouldn't shock me if they pulled the upset. But it is at Florida State. So
interestingly enough, when I was talking to Craig this morning, trying to get some leans from him, that was his lean this week. So
okay, good.
So when he was pointing out to me,
okay, good. That makes me feel a little better. Yeah. Joey, we'll kick it over to our pro for the pro.
That's right.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs minus 5.5.
Chiefs minus 5.5.
Right.
They got
against the Chargers.
Okay, Chiefs at home against the Chargers. Pretty big spread for the NFL. 5.5.
Yeah, but got Taylor Swift in the box.
Right, Swifty.
His swiftiness.
Can't go wrong with Swifty.
His swiftiness is deciding to pick.
He swiftly went right past us. He's in the lead right now.
He very swiftly passed us up. You're right about that.
I don't know about swiftly. It felt like a long cry.
Joey said it. At his age, he don't do anything swift.
That's right.
Oh goodness. All right, Tim, what you got on the pro side?
I was looking at a couple games. I'm going to go Raiders. They're traveling to Chicago, which worries me a little bit. Chicago is where I grew up.
Yeah.
It's a windy city. Anything can happen. But the Bears just have been having a horrible season, and I don't see them changing it this week. So I'm taking the Raiders minus 3.
Okay. And you may be, you've been out in Vegas, so you might be like trying to become a Raiders. You stayed out there a little while.
I was out there last week for the gaming show, and unfortunately I didn't plan well ahead of time, or I would have went to the Raiders game on Monday night.
Yeah.
I missed it. Missed opportunity, we call that.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to go to a Raiders game. I always see it. Looks pretty scary out there in the crowd. My lock of the week this week is the I never thought that I would say my lock of the week is the team that I'm about to say, but my lock of the week this week is the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, wow.
Over the Indianapolis Colts. The Browns are 2.5-point favorites. The Colts just lost their quarterback, and I really don't know. I just think the Browns are actually, I think they're sitting at 3-2 right now, and they're not a bad team. So I think that I think that they've got the opportunity to pull it out as favorites. So
wow, didn't see that one coming.
Nobody ever says my lock of the week is the Cleveland Browns. Oh my goodness. Well, you got anything else for us, Tim? Before I see my favorite stuff coming out here to us. Man,
it's just an exciting week, right? I mean, we're jumping right into Balloon Race weekend. One of the busiest, if not the busiest weekend of the year. We got a lot of stuff going on down here at the casino, a lot of stuff going on up at the Bluffs. So excited to see everybody out, and let's have a safe and great balloon race weekend.
Is this your first balloon race or second?
It's the first one that I'm in town for. So, technically the second one since I moved to Natchez, but I was moving last year while it was going on. So first one I'll be here in person to experience. But I'm familiar with the balloon races. I spent 10 years in Reno, and they've got a big balloon race. So we're actually the Magnolia Bluffs have got a crew together. We'll be crewing a balloon with our friend Tate and our pilot. So we're looking forward to that. Should be a great weekend.
Yeah, it will be a good weekend. The weather's supposed to be nice, and my picks I think are going to go 2-0. I'm going to get back on my streak, and I'm going to come down here and watch some football during the middle of it.
Through this whole segment without mentioning that he got a goose egg last week. I didn't notice that.
That's my second goose egg in 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say that.
Yeah, that's my second. I started out 6-1 overall, and now I'm 7-6. So you can see what the trajectory looks like.
Well, don't call it a rebound.
Only one way to go, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
What's for lunch?
What do we got for lunch here? My favorite part.
Oh,
chicken or shrimp pasta. You now have to do the chicken. That's right. Joey got the shrimp.
Sauce with
wow.
On the top of pasta.
Yeah. I have to do the chicken or my head will swell up like Will Smith on the movie Hitch.
That looks delicious.
Oh, my goodness.
So,
it does look delicious.
Little background on this. Amy, our kitchen supervisor, sous chef back there, this is actually a family recipe of hers. So when we first bought the property and we were creating the new menu for the restaurant, we encouraged all the team members to come forward with recipes. And Amy makes a lot of great things back there, but this is actually her family recipe she brought. We tested it out. It was so good. Everybody loved it. It went on the menu. So it's Amy's shrimp or chicken pasta.
Awesome. Look, man, I love you. And, you're my buddy. And Joey, I feel the same about you. And I enjoy talking to y'all and everything. But I think it's dinner time for me, man. So, look, we appreciate all the viewers. We appreciate the coaches for coming in today. We enjoyed speaking to them. Good luck to all the coaches and all the young men out playing, not only for Macy and Cathedral, but for all our local schools this week. Thank you to all of our viewers who just continue to, the numbers are going up, and we appreciate that. Thank you to all of our awesome partners, including Concordia Sentinel, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Gregg Vet, Trinity Medical, Hicks Chiks, and all the guys that you see on your screen. Without you guys, we can't do what we do, so we appreciate it. God bless everybody out there. And as always, have a champion day.
Play to win our Pumpkin Patch Progressive and Black Friday weekend drawings. It's time to gobble up over $50,000 in winnings at Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel. It's always a good time.
Visit magnoliabluffscasino.com.
Hi, it's Shannon with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. If you like what we're doing, be sure to follow, like, share, and even comment on all our content. Also, visit MissLouChampions.com to sign up for our newsletter and to receive other information, as well as the opportunity to receive some awesome prizes. Thank you, Miss Lou, for your continued support, and as always, have a champion day.